That's continuing, but they're also going to another question, Corinne, which I think we were going to ask in the Akash, but they want to answer it, just the general Akash.
Yeah.
And it's about what happens when you transition.
Oh, amazing. Okay, great. Yes.
So, um, I think from memory, do you want to read the question?
Yeah,
Yeah.
so kind of been noticing that it seems that a lot of souls, it feels like a lot of souls are leaving the planet right now. And we wondered whether um we wanted to know one about what happens to the souls as they transition, because a lot of souls are leaving the planet right now. So we wanted to know what happens to souls as they transition, and we also know there's information out there about what happens to souls as they transition, but it seems to just be this one data packet of what happens. But we kind of feel like it's different depending on the soul, perhaps where they come from. So we wanted to know, are we right in the feeling that more people are leaving the earth? And is that by design, in terms of, we're moving into we know we're transitioning into the golden age. And is it gonna be that we are less densely populated in the golden age? So I guess there was a few questions there.
Yeah. Okay. What would you like to answer first? Yes. Yes. Oh, yes. 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 Who's coming through for different? A very tall, slender, white being, white light. Yes. He's one of the leaders. He's not saying of this group that are coming, this group of beings. Um, he's not, he's from a galaxy in our universe, but he's not saying exactly which one. It's not the Milky Way or Andromeda and what we know as our home, these two galaxies. Um, he's saying nearby. Thank you. And he's saying, yes, we can observe this. There are more people leaving, and there are going to be people dying earlier.
Mm.
Uh, some of you will be living a lot longer because you've alchemized your decision already to be here for this time-space reality and to be here for a long time. Uh, but the ones that are not getting it, for one reason or another, not getting the upgrade to the New Earth timeline, or not really realizing how quickly the Earth is changing, they start leaving at younger ages, like in their 60s. Whereas for me, say for example, I'm 61, to me, I'm like, oh, I've just started.
Well, yeah.
But they suddenly feel old and disconnected, like the world has changed. They said in the next 7 years, they will feel like they can't connect. The world has changed so much. And they also haven't gone on to the higher New Earth timeline. So they're not getting what we might call the buzz that we get from being on our higher timeline. And he's saying yes. And he's saying one of the things that we're setting up while we're here for people is to make that transition for those people as peaceful as possible, so that they're not suffering over their suffering, because it's not like they've done anything
Wrong.
that they should be punished for. So they just don't get it. So there'll be there's a lot of people transitioning at the moment, and it's a great time to transition because you're going through, because they're here. So you're going through all this golden light when you pass on to the other side. And I'm saying to him, thank you so much. He's like incredibly intelligent. like it's taking a lot of energy for both him and I to find a common wave of energy of thought, I guess, like of frequency to communicate because he's super intelligent and I'm trying to lift my brain up and he's trying to get to my level as well. So I'm saying to him, thank you so much. Uh, and he's going, yes, it's true. I would normally communicate with people that spend their whole lives being elders, on the mountains and things like that. Hold what you'd call holy, sacred people, elders. For them, it's pretty easy. Uh, he's laughing too because he knows that, he's not. It's not. I'm not offended. So the other question was, what's happening when people pass over? We seem to have what I call a data packet. For those of you out there, to me, data packets are when I notice that the same story is being repeated by people around the world. And because I travel a bit, I see it a lot where people will, have a chat and they're like, you won't believe blah, 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 blah. And I'm thinking, yeah, I would. And I can tell you what happens next as well, because I've already heard it in every country I've been to, or I've heard it all my life from various people, and it's clear that it's a data packet that's been put in them to experience. So that's what I mean. Like there seems to be or what Corinne and I mean, there seems to be a data packet that you pass over. Uh, you have a life review, you go to the light, your loved ones meet you, and you have this incredible sense of being loved. Um, is that correct? Is there more to it? Is it just something we've been given to make it an ease a process the process less fearful for people? Oh, they're saying, well, he's saying there's a whole woven process, and that's if you can imagine a whole lot of threads being woven together, that's one thread. That uh, data packet is one thread. So it's true, but it's one thread. Uh, so what else happens when people pass over? The first thing that happens is their five elements. This is interesting because I know this was another question you intuitively knew
Yeah.
these people would know something about it, these beings. Uh, we work with the five elements a lot in the Akash. It's a key, one of the keys. Anyway, first of all, that's assessed in them is the harmony of the so the five elements: earth, air, water, fire, and ether, or Akash in the way that the world I work in. Um, so it's the spiritual connection, the ether energy. For me, the Akash energy. So first of all, that's what is assessed, and based on, I guess, the balance of that, because that's what we get to work with while we're here. So that is how they read us, how we're read on the others as soon as we pass over. It's almost like someone reading the chemicals of a body, but they're reading the five elements. And then that determines what frequency we have decided to be, how we alchemize those five elements and harmonize and clear and balance them in ourselves is they said he's saying that's basically the assessment of your life. And then from there, it's not a judgment as in good or bad, but from there, that frequency of what you've created takes you to wherever you're going, whatever the next place is for you. Um, and I'm asking, do some people just go back to source because their elements are so out of balance that they just get released back to source, taken out, so to speak, deconstructed completely? Or some souls, really, would be correct. He said, yes, this happens if there is an element that's completely kind of unaccounted for. It's like it's dropped out because this what this indicates to the beings on the other side that look at our elemental chemistry. It's not chemistry like we know it here, but they view it's kind of a close word.
Mm.
What it indicates is that the soul that is missing one of the elements or has tried to negate it altogether is controlling. So that and time's up. Time has been called on that sort of behavior at the moment. So yes, that kind of soul energy would just be sent back to source to be dissipated because we all are creations, like an outbreath from source. Like we're all a creation from there. So um, if it's got to the point, so source has the ultimate like this, yeah, the cakes just can't be, this cake can't be baked anymore. Like what? Like it's just can't go on. Yeah,
And
Corinne.
I'm guessing though, for that, the beam would have to be very far gone beyond, because beyond rehabilitation and restoration and recovery.
Yes, and they're saying it's not for your human ego self, our human ego selves to think, oh, I know who that would be.
No.
It, you don't know what equations people are working with.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah,
but yes, they would have to be very far gone to have got to the point where they could negate a whole element. Yeah.
yeah.
So and it's just like, okay, it's just we can't go on. It's not like a being marched off to prison. It's just okay, that has to go back. This can't exist anymore because it's the chemistry does it's ruined. It doesn't
Wow.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, it's
So
yeah.
there's that. Yeah. Does that make sense, Corinne?
Oh, 100%, yeah. So, well, I feel like it's a beautiful message because we kind of, because we know, or again, I say we know, maybe they can confirm this, but in the past, when souls have crossed over, it's been said that there's been a soul trap, right? But is that true, that there has been a soul trap in the past that's kept souls coming back when they didn't necessarily want to come back?
The karmic kind of thing, or what people call karma. Karma, I was waiting for him to answer. Yes, he said there has been a soul trap in the past. Does it still exist? He's saying no, we're just uh, they're just being read now and based on the alchemy of the five elements. They go where they go, and sometimes that is back to source. And and I'm saying, what about souls that can come back quite quickly rather than go somewhere based on their alchemic five elemental chemistry? If it's all in order, then what happens is you go to uh, your oversoul and decide what you want to do next. You don't have to go somewhere else. That it's like if you get yourself out of balance, you go to the equivalent of what you've created um, and experience that. And it's not a bad thing. It's just that you're experiencing something else in another dimension or field of energy. But if you've Uh, and it does, like he's saying it's not based on being successful and completing what you came to Earth to do. It's based on how, how well you've managed to keep these five elements harmonized within yourself. Because sometimes we come in and we don't complete our life mission, or we die in awful circumstances in the past. Anyway, we've got a lot more control now. Um, so um, it's not that. Like even if I'm saying, what about if when the people have been depressed or and then had an accident or even committed suicide? He's saying that's actually got nothing to do with it. Um, just because someone has decided they need to leave, that's not seen as it's not about how you exit because we know on our side where he said, we know it's difficult,
Mm.
but we also need to assess what you've done with your five basic elements because you know, you talk a lot, Valentina, about how you teach people how you separate out from sources, light and sound, and then you start to have form and become a galactic being and form your oversoul and form your higher self and then come down if you're in this stream of energy that we're in coming down to earth and then you're able to bring your soul and energy into an actual body, human body. um remember where I was going with the question, but
Oh,
he said we know it's not, can't remember. Oh, but what, it's about the alchemy anyway.
about the balance. And I think so, just like you say, we'd actually one of the questions we were gonna, but I want to come back to that about the five elements because before we ask
Yeah.
that, then, I think this is such an amazing comfort, I think, for people whose loved ones are passing over, because they can have that knowing that they're going to be looked after, there's going to be no soul traps, they're actually going to go where they need to go to get what is going to help them to heal and
Yeah.
balance. So that's really comforting, I think, for
Yeah.
anyone that's listening. And so, and that kind of leads on to what
Mm.
I'm going to ask, is there anything that, because many people know right now that they've got loved ones that are about to transition, is there anything that they can do for their loved ones to help that transition?
They do. What could we do to help loved ones who we know are transitioning? The most powerful thing you can do to help them is to meditate with them and bring in the five different elements. So we've been meaning for a while to talk to you, to create a video about that. I do, as I said, it's a very integral, basic part of the Saha teachings in the Akash. Um, so, of course, we won't reveal the advanced stuff, but we can definitely, um, just getting all that lightheaded, trippy feeling again. We can definitely teach the basics in another video that we'll do, and then Corinne will come back and link it here. Um, and for our Saha community, we must remember to put that in a special temple for them too. That's what would help them the most with their transition, and not necessarily what I'll be teaching, but you know, what it whatever way you go into a meditative or altered state and bring in the five elements for them, which also could be as simple as bringing them into their room, having water and rocks or beautiful crystals to represent the earth and um, feathers for air and something to represent fire, which can be certain crystals are made in fire, could be volcanic rock, could be candles, and just make sure that there is something that connects them to what's called the ether or the Akash or the spirit energy, which could be music even, could be beautiful music. Um, so that takes you, that you've got to feel, takes you to a higher spiritual realm. So yeah, it's a beautiful question. This guy loves that you've brought that in. He's saying, what I love about humans is how compassionate you are. Very loving and compassionate to even ask that question. And knowing that so many humans would want to do that. We want to help people so much. He loves that about us. Yeah.
Well, yeah, thank
Mm.
you for that. And just as Valentina says, we'll do a video. We've been meaning to do it, and it came in today, so it was obviously perfectly aligned. So we'll do a video on
Yeah.
help whoever's tuning in if they want to do that for themselves, because obviously it helps you
Mm.
for your loved ones that are transitioning. So
Yeah. Yeah. And you might even create a little poem or prayer, like uh, definitely watch our stuff. We're here to lead and help and heal, but develop your sovereignty too. Don't give your power away. And it has to be the way we said, it needs to be the five elements. So you might create a beautiful song you sing or a beautiful something, some artistic process for them as well.
yeah, exactly. Follow your own intuition, because it's nearly always right if it's your own intuition. Like Valentina
Yeah.
says, yeah, we'll bring a way you can balance the elements, but there's so many ways you can bring in the elements and balance them. And I guess what was coming through for me as well was about just having as much love and compassion, and just as much, having that energy. Obviously
Yeah.
letting them know how much they're loved, if you feel like you can communicate that to them, because that helps to balance the water, the emotional element. you know
Mm.
this forgiveness that can be expressed at that time, if that's possible, for anything that helps to balance the air, the thoughts, as
Yeah.
imagine when you get to the end of the life, there's so much emotions and things coming up. So yeah, so just that was coming in for me as well to help.
Yeah. Yeah. And no, that reminds me, like, know that when people you think someone's going to pass over and then they don't, and you're feeling like you're in so much pain. I wish you would just, pass. I know, of course, we have pain management, but it's awful to see still. So know that what they're doing is they're harmonizing so that they A, don't have to do it on the other side, and B, can have their their harmonization of their energy fields and their five elements done before they pass over, because you're still you. You might not be in a physical body, but you're still you, and you still can be easily read. So that's often that's exactly what's happening when people are like lingering and you're thinking, this is like heartbreaking. That, yeah, you can help them with the compassion and the love and the five element healing.
Beautiful.
So that they can have freedom on the other side to be balanced and go where they want to go. Yeah.